everyone, and welcome back to the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. When we last left off, we had finished day 2 of the trial, and we are moving straight on to day 3 of the investigation, which we found out that Mr. Jack Hammer's fingerprints were on the sleeping pills, and the plate is laced with sleeping pills as well. So we're gonna have a little walkabout, see where I need to go, because I have no idea. Oh, okay, outside Studio 1, so sure. Think back, Nick, to the day of the murder. Mr. Hammer put on the Steel Samurai costume. Then left him here to go to Studio 2? Right. But why? I know someone called him. Like the director or the producer? Oh, hello. October 19th, Studio 2 entrance. Yeah. Hey, Nick, it's Miss Vasquez. Hello? Hello? H-E! L! L! O! Maya, you should at least try to be polite. I'm watching the clouds. That's all she had to say, apparently. Excuse me, Mr. Hammer came here on the day of the murder and... Shh. Huh? Perhaps you didn't hear me. I'm watching the clouds. I'm not interested in talking to you. Do something, Nick. She's really ticking me off. Oh dear. She's not even looking. Where? What? Where did you get that? Well... Old bag. Old? She means the security lady, Miss Oldbag, Nick. Right. Yes. Anyway, Miss Vasquez, you hid this incident from the press, didn't you? And you used it to control Mr. Hammer. The wind. Huh? It's gotten stronger, don't you think? The wind. Your conversation interests me. Let's talk about it more inside the trailer. Nick, she went inside the trailer. Okay. You came. Well then, what was that you were talking about? Why is she so eager to talk all of a sudden? Miss Vasquez, you were using that incident. You were blackmailing Mr. Hammer so you couldn't control him, weren't you? That's why he was doing kids shows for petty change. Huh. So I'm a blackmailer now. Well, that's what it was, wasn't it? I mean, sure it was an accident. You used it to drag Mr. Hammer down from his rightful place as a star. Oh, I haven't pulled anyone down from anywhere. Mr. Hammer's career went sour of his own accord. But you were the cause. You pressured him. I think it was just an accident. Excuse me? What is all this about? You keep saying accident. Accident. How are you so sure? What do you mean? Must I spell everything out for you? Think. What would it be if it wasn't an accident? No. No way! You mean Mr. Hammer did it on purpose? That is what I mean. Where's your proof? Can you prove it? Just think. Would he have let me run his life for 5 years over a mere accident? And I ran him hard. Believe you me. What? The security lady said it was an accident. Oh. Well, she was a big fan of Hammer's, you see. She jumped on the reporter who bought that photo into the studio. She wrenched it out of his hands, she did. Gave him a few bruises, too. So that's why she had the photo. She's an old fool. Of course, all the reporter would need is the negatives. He could have made a copy, but he didn't. The only copy of that photo is the one you hold. Give it to me. Now. What? This is valuable evidence. Boys. Oh. I don't want to carry on. No, we're just, no. Who are they? Professionals. I got at erasing various things. What do you think? Would you like to be erased? What? The trial ends tomorrow? How unfortunate. It's a shame you'll have to miss it. Tell me why. Why do you want this photograph so badly? This is Mr. Hammer's dirt, no? Why should Diva Squares care about it at all? I'm sure you'll have plenty of time to think about that where you're going. So long, friends. Boys, erase away. No!
Hold it right there! I heard everything, pal! Diva Squares, you're coming down to the precinct with me now!
Not bad. Very well. It appears this contest will be decided tomorrow then. In court. I'll be looking forward to it.
Hey! You okay, pal? Sorry I was a little late with my entrance. I don't get many chances to practice that sort of thing.
Detective Gumshoe! Thank you. I was really scared.
Huh? Don't mention it, pal. Just doing my job.
Detective Gumshoe?
Sorry. It's just... I wanted to say that line ever since I became a detective. Okay. I've got one more job to do today. I'm sure we'll run into each other again soon.
Well, Nick, it looks like we're getting close to the bottom of this. And who's at the bottom?
Diva Squares.
To be continued. Already? Was that just the end of the investigation? Well! Okay, I didn't exactly get to investigate a lot, but okay.
Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Today will be the final day of this trial. I hope both the prosecution and the defense will be able to present decisive evidence. Very well, Mr. Redruth, your opening statement.
In yesterday's session, the defense presented us with a new theory for this case. He claims that the scene of the crime was, in fact, Studio 2. Today, I will call on people present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. From their testimonies, the truth will become clear.
Very well.
Edgeworth seems a bit on edge today.
You may call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. You, Mr. Edgeworth.
The prosecution calls Miss D. Vasquez to the stand. Miss D. Vasquez is the producer who was present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. Will the witness state her name and occupation? D. Vasquez. I am a producer for Global Studios. On the day of the murder, you were in the trailer in Studio 2. As everyone here knows, yes? Huh? I dislike needless banter. If you must pontificate, do it when I'm not here.
Very well, Mr. Vasquez. Please give the court your testimony concerning the day of the murder.
Nick, I know she did it. Make her pay. Right. If she's guilty, I'll catch her with her pants down, so to speak. The day of the murder. I entered the trailer a little before noon. The meeting began at 12 o'clock sharp. It ended at 4 o'clock. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so I went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer. We found Hammer's body later, and we all went to Studio 1. That's all.
I have a question about one part of your testimony. You were fatigued, so you had Sal take you.
The van. There's a van in Studio 2. I didn't take me in that. I thought it might be risky to walk with Mad Monkey's head toppling over.
I see. Very well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
This is the final ball, Nick. Let's do it. To 4 p.m. Did no one leave during the meeting? No one. Come on, let's talk a bit more about that. The witness did not come to engage in idle conversation. Stop interrupting the testimony. The same could be said to you, Mr. Edgeworth. And please, stop banging on your little desk. It hurts my ears. And when exactly was that? I've forgotten. Maybe you could try remembering? No. The meeting ended at 4 o'clock and the rehearsal was scheduled for 5 o'clock. I would think it was between those times. You would think? Come on, all you did was state the obvious, Edgeworth. Hold on. You had Sal take you? What does that mean? It means what I just said. I had Sal take me in the Studio 2 van. Oh, right. Hit your desk. It irritates me. Yeah, Mr. Wright. Oops. It was a 15-minute break. No, I mean, someone else. One person is enough. If she committed murder during that break, she wouldn't have had time to eat T-bone steak. If I had some evidence that proves she didn't eat that steak. The interconnection quality is currently not sufficient to broadcast gameplay. How dare you say that about my live stream? Oh, okay, so it's still going. Now, Nick, find a little more. It's hard. I think it's pretty used to being the boss. But I'm sure you'll find some kind of contradiction in what she said. Somewhere.
Hold it!
By yourself? Yes. And you didn't stop at the employee area? No. Are you always this terse? Yes. Oh dear. The meeting began at 12 sharp and ended at 4. There would be a bone! Duh! Ha! As I thought. You claim you ate T-bone steak. But I say you did not.
What's this now, Mr. Wright?
Look at this.
It's a plate? I think I've seen one of those before. I mean, I don't have them at my house, but I'm pretty sure I've seen one before.
This plate was on the table in the employee area. Judge, you really should find one. As you can see, a large bone has been left behind. Mr. Wright, need I remind you it was a T-bone steak? Exactly my point. Remember, if you will, Miss Vasquez and Mr. Manella ate at the table outside the trailer. Yet there were no bones left on the plates. The plates were bare! Miss Vasquez? Tell me, how can a person eat a T-bone steak and not leave the bone? I think I know how. You didn't eat any steak during that break. You took your steak and threw it somewhere, like that incinerator.
I see. Then what was Miss Vasquez doing during her break?
Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? She was meeting with the Steel Samurai.
Order! Are you saying?
Yes, Your Honor. As Miss Vasquez left the trailer to eat her steak, she ran into the Steel Samurai, and then you did it. You killed him with your own hands.
Mr. Wright, isn't that a little presumptuous?
What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, Wright? Let him claim what he wants. You said, didn't it? Yes. Fascinating. And here I was, worrying that today would be as boring as all the rest. Very well. Let us have a battle of wits. You and I.
Any day, Vasquez.
Good luck, Nick. Let's see. What was that murder weapon again? Oh, yes. The samurai spear. Yes. I am, as you can see, a woman of a petite stature. How could I possibly use that heavy spear as a weapon? I mean, if she took the end off, because it was broken, wasn't it? And it was only gaffer taped up. So if she because the murder weapon, a break in the shaft, has been mended with duct tape. So if she took the tape off, used it as a weapon, taped it back up, possibly? It's not impossible. Well, maybe it's not impossible, but silence. I'm speaking. The The victim was stabbed through the chest from the front, yes? I believe this would indicate that the victim was aware of the killer's presence. Now, the steel samurai costume is quite light and mobile. Compared to the victim, I am weaker and slower. I couldn't possibly win such a fight. Not to mention, there is proof I did not have the spear. The photograph of the steel samurai shows that the victim himself was holding it. What do you mean to suggest that I could have wrestled it away from him? Yeah, take that, Wright. If you still think she did it, show us proof. Hey, Nick. Look at the data we have on that samurai spear in the court record. Is there something that gets you... Something odd about the samurai spear? Wait!
Something the matter, Mr. Wright?
Sorry, Your Honor. I'd like to take back my previous claim.
Very well. I won't hold you to that claim. I'm afraid I will have to penalize you.
What's this? You're taking back your claim? Let's backtrack for a moment. I want to consider whether the witness could have used the samurai spear. That has no bearing on this case. Meaning, the samurai spear was not the murder weapon. What? Eh? Oh, what? Because there's no bloodstains?
What is the meaning of this? The spear was found lying next to the victim's body.
I have proof, Your Honor. Oh, or is it because it would have broken again? In the victim's body. Maybe?
Take that!
I present my proof, the so-called murder weapon. What? That is the murder weapon. Not so fast. Remember that this spear broke during the morning action scene run-through? But someone fixed the spear. It was the security lady. She fixed it with duct tape. Now, tell me, how is it possible for someone to stab a man who's wearing a thick costume with this through the chest?
Order! Order!
Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Think about what you're... Silence! You know what, this is really weird because I've played, as I said before, I've played Phoenix Wright 5 and 6, Dual Destinies and the other one, which I cannot remember for the life of me. But there's a character in it called Simon Blackwell. Oh, sorry, not Simon Blackwell, Simon Blackwell. And he is a prosecutor, just like Edgeworth. And his little catchphrase is literally, instead of like objection, take that, it's silence. So that's all I can think about, just silence. I am the one testifying here, and I will be heard. Are you quite sane? Are you even aware of what you're saying? If the samurai spear was not the murder weapon, then pray tell, what was it? What was? How was Hammer killed?
Well, Mr. Wright, you tell us what the weapon was used to kill Mr. Hammer.
I have a feeling it's because it's bent. It was and because of the thing 5 years ago, it's the fence. Would I make a claim like that if I couldn't tell you what the weapon was?
I'm afraid your confidence can sometimes be unfounded, Mr. Wright. Very well, let's see what this murder weapon then.
Take that!
Look at this photo.
What is this?
Well, that's Jack Hammer standing...
Why, that's Jack Hammer standing at the top of the stairs. Order! Order!
Order! Order!
If I cannot have order, this trial will be suspended. Mr. Wright, what is this all about?
This photograph is from 5 years ago. There was an unfortunate accident at Global Studios. This is a photo of that very accident. Not a word of this was leaked to the outside. It was close kept secret at the studios. What does this have to do with the current case? Mr. Edgeworth, you still can't see it? See the former man in this photo? See how the fence post pierced him through the chest? What are you saying? Yes. What happened 5 years ago has happened again. Now we get the music.
Mr. Wright, continue.
It was 2:30 p.m. on the day of the murder. Miss Diva Squares meets Jack Hammer outside the Studio 2 trailer. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stairs onto the fence. Just like Mr. Hammer had himself done 5 years ago. Though whether she did it on purpose or by accident, I cannot say. In other words, the victim, Mr. Hammer, he died in the same way that he caused another man to die. 5 years ago. Precisely. Ironic, isn't it? Oh, very creative, Mr. Wright. I could use a man like you in my script writing staff. You deny that what I say is true? Mr. Wright, let's say, for the sake of an argument, that Hammer died at the trailer, as you say. Yet the body was found in Studio 1, was it not? And in the evil magistrate's costume, no less. Are you then claiming that I carried the body to Studio 1 and returned to this trailer, all in the space of a 15-minute break? How could I have disposed of the body? The break in the meeting at the trailer lasted 15 minutes from 2:30 to 2:45. Could Jack Hammer have been pushed off the stairs to his death, then carried to the Studio 1 and placed inside his costume? There wasn't enough time.
Indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, how could she have dealt with the body?
I don't know, because I'm thinking she stuck it in the van. But when 2:30. She could have. You'd be surprised. I bet she could do it. When people think their life depends on it, they can do amazing things.
Mr. Wright, this is not an episode of That's Incredible.
IMC's coming on. Bless me. If you claim she did everything in 15 minutes, let me guess, show me proof? Correct, show me proof. How am I supposed to do that? And I won't have you making unsubstantiated claims. Wait a second, how does he know what I'm thinking? Ha! I need only look at the cold sweat running down your face to know what I'm thinking.
Mr. Wright, perhaps you'd like to reconsider your claim. Well, Mr. Wright,
She had another way. What if she had another way to carry the body, other than with her own hands? For instance, actually, for that matter, there's no need for her to do the deed in 15 minutes. And there was a way for you to carry that body. Interesting. Let's hear it then.
Mr. Wright, please show us how she carried the body.
Take that!
Please, tell me I'm right. Yes! Mr. Squares. You carry the body to Studio 1, and you use the studio van to do it. Recall your testimony. There was to be a rehearsal after return to Studio 1, and Chaser had telling me there was a van there, right, so I had to ask I'll drive me there. You used the van to carry the body to Studio 1. Then, before everyone else got there, you put the body into the magistrate costume. Hold on, right? Don't forget, it was Salmonella that drove the van. Are you suggesting that Mr. Manella was a conspirator? No, I don't think he was. Of course he wasn't. Ha! So without Mr. Manella noticing anything, she put the body in the van and managed to put the body into the costume. He's seriously suggesting that it's possible? Of course I'm not serious. I was kidding to lighten up the proceedings. God damn it! I was hoping, like, She put the body in the costume when Sal wasn't there, or like when he went to check up on. Well, I don't know, when he wasn't there. And then, like, the fact that he didn't know the body was in the van, it was just like, oh, hi, Steel Samurai's here. We need the Steel Samurai. We need to take the Steel Samurai over to Studio One. Can you do that for us, Sal? A light on. You can't lighten up a murder.
Mr. Wright, I can't request you from refrain from making claims in jest.
Yes, Your Honour. Of course, Salmon had to have been a conspirator. The body had to have been placed in the van and put into the costume. There's no way Miss Vasquez could have done that alone. Also, don't forget they had to dispose of the Steel Samurai costume. They had to, because it was covered in Mr. Hammer's blood. They probably burned it in that small incinerator. Well, Miss Vasquez, shall I continue? No need. You're smarter than you look, Mr. Wright. I lose. You win. It was fun. I win? So, what happens next? Don't, May. Do you have anything to say? What would you like me to say? Huh? I lost? Something like that? I just said that. Wait, you mean Vasquez? So it was you? You killed Jack Hammer? Who can say? Huh? You sure I did? Mr. Wright, we just engaged in a battle of wits. As a result of that battle, you proved the possibility that I'd murdered Hammer. Right. But that is only a possibility. Proof is another thing altogether. You lack decisive proof, Mr. Wright. What?
Order! Mr. Edgeworth.
Of course, yes, it's as the witness says, but come on, Judge. You can see she did it. Certainly it does seem very likely she did it, but there's no proof. Edgeworth isn't sure. Well, I came here as a witness today. If you've no more questions, I'll be leaving. What do we do now? Miss Vasquez, you did it! That wasn't a question. Did you do it? No.
Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honour?
I'm not sure that question will help this court get any closer to a verdict.
What do I do now? I'd like you to testify again.
Testify again?
No one to give up, Mr. Wright. Think about it. Even if I were to testify again, what's the point? I can only say what I did before. The truth, Mr. Wright. I've already said all there is to say. What would happen if I said it again? You'd ask the same questions, got the same answers. A waste of time. Damn! To come so far, only to fail.
As it seems there are no further questions, I would like to end the cross-examination of the witness, Miss Vasquez.
Objection!
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth?
I was hoping to come up with a question while I was objecting, Your Honour. I didn't.
Objection!
I see, very well.
Your Honour, I requested the witness testify again. You are the prosecutor, are you not? Why are you badgering me? I'm not your witness. Objection! He's badgering the witness. It's his witness. You did it, didn't you? You gave the dog a sausage. You stuffed her like a Thanksgiving turkey. Yeah, I did it. I did it. Is that what you want? I love Liar Liar Man. Does this make any sense to you, Your Honour? I don't see that we have anything to gain by repeating the last several minutes.
Mr. Edgeworth, I do see little point in making Miss Vasquez repeat herself. What exactly did you want her to testify about?
Well, yes. Indeed. Verily, I say. Ergo. I want to hear about what happened after they found the body.
After they found the body? Very well. The witness will testify to the court concerning this matter.
Nick, why did Edgeworth? Who knows? He probably realised she did it too. But, wasn't he the one that said he always gets a guilty verdict? After all that, Edgeworth. I was with Sal and Oldbag, the security lady, when we found the body. The assistant was there too. Only Powers was absent. I immediately called the police, and then Powers showed up. The security lady Oldbag was quite agitated, pointing at Powers saying he did it. I asked to be let out of the proceedings. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. And then I went home.
I see no issues raised by this testimony. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
Oh, Nick. Okay, Nick. We're close. Real close. She may be acting tough now. But if you put her on the spot, she's sure to falter. Find the key you need and twist the truth out of her, Nick. Right.
Hold it!
What time was that? We were to meet at 5 o'clock for the rehearsal, so I'd say it was then. When exactly did you and Mr. Manella arrive at the studio? About 10 minutes before. I wasn't selling anybody's into costumes, mind you. Where were the other employees when you got to the studio? They weren't there yet. Well, then you could have put Hammer in that costume with Salmonella's help. Oh, what did I just say? Did I meant to say I wasn't stuffing anybody's into any costumes? I shouldn't try to listen to what people are saying, boy. Boy?
The witness will continue her testimony.
Hold it!
Mr. Powers was taking a nap. Correct, taking a nap, right? So he says. Did no one get to call him? Remember what? There was a dead body lying in front of us. You expect me to be calm? You certainly seemed calm enough when I accused you of murder. Wait a second, wouldn't that be the other way around? The other way around? You discovered a murdered body and one person was missing, right? Would you normally go looking for the missing person?
I have to agree with the defense with this one. Well, Miss Vasquez?
Logically speaking, perhaps. But no one there was thinking very logically, I assure you. Also, without his steel samurai costume, Powers doesn't really stand out. You had to left him on the bus when shooting a location. No one noticed he was missing. Poor Powers.
Well, I suppose that explains that. Very well, Miss Vasquez, you may continue.
Hold it!
What was everyone else doing at that time? No one said a thing. It was silent. completely silent. So he started into a pause friendly out on the scene. Sorry I'm late. Then silence. Dead silence. Silence. Hey Nick! Why is everyone so quiet? Someone should do something to lighten things up. Old bag, the security lady. Why did the security lady think Bowser's done it? She said because she saw him going towards the studio. Right, still samurai. Did the detective arrest Miss Bowers based solely on the security lady's word? Perhaps not. She seems to have also given the detective that photograph. Of course, they heard all about all this after the fact. A photograph, meaning the one taken by the security camera. She's not known for exhibiting the best sense of judgment when it comes to hammer. I don't think there's anything in there I can use. You asked it to be left out? Yes. It seems that everyone else was questioned. I'm really not fond of that sort of thing. But you can't just decide who the police will and won't question. Thankfully, the studio thinks otherwise. They were nice enough to understand that, since we were in a meeting, there was no way we could have been involved. Thus, they covered for us. Covered for you. Or covered it up for you. There must have been a lot riding on it, with all those big weeks of the meeting. I'm sure her professionals helped convince everyone they didn't require questioning. The scripting or direction notes? Yes, they're quite valuable. It wouldn't have to have them stolen. No, I guess not. Wait a second. Then you came to Studio 1 for rehearsal. Why didn't you bring your scripts and notes? Well, I was under the impression that we wouldn't be able to rehearse anything. Why? There was a murder, after all. Who could think of rehearsing after that? Oh, yeah, I guess.
Very well, Mr. Squares, please continue.
Your Honor! I have an objection to the witness's last statement. Ooh. Huh? Da, 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 da. Think! Mr. Squares said she didn't bring the script because there wouldn't be a rehearsal. Don't you see what that means? She would have had to know about the murder before going to Studio 1. Ah, you slipped up, Scooby!
Order! Order! Mr. Edgeworth! What have you just said? It's a reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. You think giving a career change to defense?
I appreciate the concern, Your Honor. I will stand by my statement, however, regardless of how the court sees my role here. Now, Mr. Squares, do you have an explanation? I can't believe Edgeworth is helping me. So, the prosecution is in cahoots with the defense. What kind of court is this? No matter. I think you misunderstood me. I had a perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal.
Very well, the witness will change her testimony to reflect this reason.
How did you know about the injury? How did I know? Sal. He told me. Sal, director. You have to find something to peg this on her. Everything we've done till now will have just been wasted. I believe in you, Nick. Go get them. Yeah, I thought as much. You knew that Hammer was injured. Do you think that's a little funny? I mean, it was the Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers! What?
Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Yes, Mr. Hammer is dragging his leg in this photo. But that's because if this would stop being catching on the bed frame, that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Pretending? One person was injured in the run-through that morning. That person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Now why do you think it was Mr. Hammer who was injured? I already said it was Sal who told me. That's right, he must have got it wrong. I think not. Mr. Manella was in the run-through that morning. You would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured. He saw it happen. Why would he tell you the wrong person? Miss Vasquez. Actually, you didn't hear anything from Mr. Manella. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes.
Yes, but wasn't it Mr. Powers who was injured?
Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg too. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers.
Ah!
And when was he doing this? Well, it would have to have been after he put on the Steel Samurai costume. And he went to Studio 2, where he was murdered. Exactly! Miss Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Hammer was in a Steel Samurai suit. That's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning.
Order! Order! I will have order!
Witness, can you refute this claim? Yeah, let's see you sneak out of this one, Vasquez. Very well. I have a question for you. Why are the real killers always so persistent? Why in the world would I want Mr. Hammer dead? Yes, he'd fallen on the hard times, but he was a star. I had nothing to gain from his death. Nothing.
Yes. Yes. You would need a motive. Why would she have killed the victim? If there's a reason, it is unclear to this court. Does the defense have anything to say on the matter? In other words, can you prove she had a motive?
I don't think I can. Nick, no! Saying you can't prove it now would be admitting defeat, so get away! But what proof could I possibly have? I don't care if it's impossible, you still have to fight this one. Okay. I have proof and I'll show it to you. Oh, is it because of the 5 years ago thing? Oh.
Take that!
This is my proof.
Is this the photo from before?
This photo reveals the motive in this murder. I'm right, aren't I, Miss Vasquez? 5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the height of his fame. With D. Vasquez's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case currently up for trial. It began on that day 5 years ago. Ironically enough, that accident precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall. He fell his fall from stardom. His guilt weighed him down, no doubt. However, you, D. Vasquez, used Mr. Hammer. You made him work for you for petty change. Bringing us to the present day, and Mr. Hammer's last role as the evil magistrate. Yes, undoubtedly he was a constant source of shame for the ex-star.
One moment, Mr. Wright. We are talking about motives here, yet you have only talked about Mr. Hammer. It almost seems as if Mr. Hammer, who had killed D. Vasquez, not the other way around. What motive could Miss Vasquez have?
Yes, that's right. According to what you say, I would have no reason to kill Hammer. He was a good source of income for me. How they never get rid of useful men. It's a policy of mine.
Mr. Wright, please explain Miss Vasquez's motive for murder.
She had no motive, Your Honor.
What's that now?
It was Mr. Hammer who was out for blood. All Miss Vasquez did was push him off the stairs in self-defense. What was that now? It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Miss Vasquez. Do 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 do. What? Your Honor, Jack Hammer drugged Mr. Powers with his sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole some of my costume. Jack Hammer wore the costume to fool the security lady into thinking it was Powers. Then Jack Hammer made his way to the trailer. And for what purpose, you ask? To kill Dean Vasquez, who had so cruelly taken advantage of him all those years. Is that it? So you did do it, didn't you? Is that it? Is that the breakdown? Well, that was very anticlimactic. Yes, I'm guilty. It was me. Someone call an ambulance! There's blood everywhere! We're too late! Miss Vasquez! What happened here? Manuel fell from the train stairs. Manuel! Miss Vasquez, please try to remain calm. No! How could this? It was an accident. Mr. Hammer was doing an action scene and... No, Manuel! Don't touch him, Miss Vasquez. No! Please don't die. Please. Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose. Again.
Mr. Edgeworth, where's D. Vasquez?
In the waiting lobby, Your Honor, as calm as collected as ever.
I see. Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor?
It appears you have brought about yet another miracle.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think not, Your Honor. Will Powers was innocent. That he should be found is only natural, not a miracle.
Yes, you're right. Very well. Escort finds the defendant, Mr. Will Powers.
Not guilty!
That is all. This court is adjourned.
October 20th, 1:12 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3.
I don't know what to say. Thank you so much.
I'm just glad you're okay.
Yes, but it's sad. I now know that Mr. Hammer stole my costume. It's bad enough that he wants to kill Miss Vasquez, but to think that he tried to free me from the murder makes me sad. Tell me why, Mr. Wright.
Oh, what?
Tell me, why did Mr. Hammer want to blame me?
Well, this is what I think. Mr. Hammer wanted to put the blame on you because... Because you were still samurai.
Because I was a still samurai?
Mr. Howard was a big star once. He was reduced to acting in a kids show. And as the villain to boot. Kids loved the still samurai. So he hated you.
I think I understand. He could have just told me, just glad it's all over.
So. Congratulations, WP!
Oh! Thanks to you, I'll be able to don the steel samurai outfit once more. Oh, I can't wait to get back into that sweaty costume and... Is something wrong?
No, of course not. Yeah. Nick Edgeworth.
Say something, right? I'm not good at small talk.
Huh? What? That was too bad, Edgeworth.
You don't waste any time gloating, do you?
No. Look, I really want to thank you. The squares would have gotten away if you hadn't stepped in. Edgeworth. A big fan of your work, Mr. Edgeworth, Mr. Powers. Liar!
Right, I must say I hadn't expected to meet you again after all these years.
Meet again?
However, in retrospect, it would have been better had we not met. Thanks to you, I am saddled with unnecessary... feelings.
Unnecessary feelings?
Yes, unease and uncertainty. Aren't those kind of necessary? They only serve to get in my way. You listen to me, Phoenix, right? Don't ever show your face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you. Oh, Mr. Wright, was that guy your friend?
What friends as if? They're rivals, right, Nick?
For now we are. I guess.
Huh? Why do I get the feeling we're missing something? Come on, Nick, tell me, what's the deal with you and Edgeworth?
And so the curtain closed on another trial. I caused quite a stir by revealing that accident from 5 years ago. It was the talk of the town. Thankfully, Global Studios rethought its programming change. I went back to making kid shows again.
Nick! This is it! The new show starts today! You gotta watch it with me, right?
I'll admit, I was kind of surprised. I didn't think they'd seriously go through with it.
You have to buy trading cards too, okay? We have to trade with Cody, another assistant!
Fine, I'll do it.
Isn't it great that WP gets to play the lead again? I wonder if they'll show his real face this time.
I don't know.
I don't think the world is ready for the real Mr. Powers. Or Will Powers, rather.
The end. Episode 4. Turnabout Goodbyes. A new episode has been added. And this is where I'm going to leave off for today. But if you guys did enjoy this episode, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. It really does help. Click the bell icon down below to be notified when I live stream or upload a video. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!